All righty, ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Friday, TGIF. Hope you're all doing well. I'm Chris Phillips, your host of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. Obviously, we are remote on the road today. Guys, let me know that you can hear me okay, you can see me okay. Obviously, we get outside of the studio, things can get a little wonky. So just let me know that everything's good on your end. Audio should be good. Let me know about video quality. Video quality should be good, but if there's any issues, y'all, please do not hesitate to let me know. I apologize for the late start time today. Went and stopped. I'm actually obviously in North Augusta, seeing family. We got our watch party tomorrow in Augusta, Georgia at the Carolina Ale House. I stopped by a North Augusta staple for lunch called Snowcap. Some of you may be very familiar with it. Well, what I did not know today is that Snowcap was going to take forever to get my lunch made. So, some people would get upset. Some people would catch an attitude. I got in there like 11:35. Did not walk out of there till 12:15. Some people would get upset. I tell you what, though, I just scarfed it down. Burger was fantastic. Food was fantastic. And the guy complimented my shirt. You see we got the Shooter Shoot shirt on. Guy complimented my shirt as I walked out of the Snowcap. So again, folks, always be sure to control your emotions. Control what you can control. And just keep a smile on your face, and things will work out well. But again, hey, you love to have creative freedom, right? We're starting 30 minutes later, but we're going 30 minutes longer. We'll be live until 2:30 today. Again, taking your questions, comments, calls. Guys, I know the last time I went on vacation, I forgot to bring the headphones and forgot to bring the plug for the calls. We are taking your calls today. We have the full setup out here. You know, I was thinking about that yesterday. What's crazy, I'm sure many of you think it is like this extravagant setup. And I mean, it's I've been doing it a long time, so it's simple to me. I'm sure for some it'd be very complex, but it's awesome that it's actually very easy to take it remotely. So we are out here on my parents' back porch. It's a beautiful day in the city, beautiful day in North Augusta, beautiful day in the CSRA. High like 71 today. I got shorts on, got the long sleeve, but I got shorts on as well. It is a beautiful day and a great day to have a day. And again, folks, I appreciate you all tuning in. It's great to chat with you here on this Friday as we sit just 1 week away from opening day. And again, like I said, I definitely want to hear from you. Before we go any further, of course, the Daily Crow is brought to you by the Big Cock Club. Guys, join the Big Cock Club today, patreon.com/Big Cock Club, or go to the link in bio on our social media channels. Click that Big Cock Club link, and you can join today. You'll get access to all of our newest and latest conversations and interviews that we publish. Also, exclusive access to our private Discord, merchandise, a 20% off promo code for all merch, exclusive access behind the scenes, early access to content we produce, exclusive content that we do not post on our normal channel. So again, guys, a lot of features there. Patreon.com/Big Cock Club. Let's jump to the phone line.
To accept, press
Let's
1.
see what is Spider-Man calling in early?
2.
What's going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing well. Do you think that Spencer Rattler can lead the Gamecocks to a national championship?
No, absolutely not. A national championship in year 2 of Beamer? You're crazy. Come on.
I don't know. He's that guy.
I'd love to win. I'd just love to win 8 games, man. From there, beyond that, I'd be giddy. So.
Okay, is Keyshawn Bryant a must start in the next game?
You said Keyshawn must start in the next game? Hey, at least they talk sports. At least they talk. I wonder who these dudes are. Again, it's like a daily circle jerk with these guys. At least the guy was talking sports. I think he asked that question expecting me to be like, oh, yeah, man, we're going to go to the national titles. Like, bro, you're calling the wrong guy. Like, you're calling the wrong guy if you're looking for some silly answer. Like, no, we're not going to the national championship with freaking Spencer Rattler. I love the guy. I'm glad he's a Gamecock, but there are other Gamecock shows. Maybe there aren't. I don't know. But I feel like there are probably other Gamecock shows, other Gamecock content creators you can ask that question to, and I think get the response that you're looking for.
Call from
Here we go. Jump back to the phone lines. CJ, what's going on, man? How are you?
My guy, what's up, Chris? Good, man.
Just hanging out.
Good. I see that. What burger did you get at Snowcap, first off?
Yeah, so I got the smokehouse, the one that has their snow-capped slaw on it. I'd never had it. It was actually really good. I that's the other thing, too, by the way. You know, they took forever with the food. I think they had, like, the church across the street had, like, a huge order or something. Whatever. No big deal. So the order took forever, but the burger was banging. So that kind of makes up for it. That kind of makes up for it. When at least the food was banging. There's nothing worse when it takes forever and the food's not good. That burger was banging, though.
So I will tell you this. I've been to Snowcap twice in my life, and both times, I don't know if you remember the conversation, I went with your boy, Marty Gant.
Oh, yeah. Now, I talked to Marty last night, actually, because I was at the North Augusta baseball scrimmage. He was hitting me up about how they looked and all that. So,
yeah, that's I will tell you that both times I went with him.
Yeah, Marty's a legend.
So, two things on today. Well, first off, I wasn't going to talk about it, but the Spencer Rattler thing, I don't, the whole national championship, that's not in my head. I just want to win the East. We come so close to the East. That's the only thing I want to take over.
Well, you gotta do that. You gotta do that first, right? You can't get to the title game if you don't win the East.
Correct.
That is step one.
Even though we beat Auburn twice at home, we still owe Auburn in the East if they make it that far, which I don't see them doing that because they got a whole lot going on right now that they need to figure out. They probably need to hire Muschamp again to try to get back to the glory days. Joke. But either way, my second thing was, did you watch what? I watched it because I just laughed at it. But the Clemson and Duke game last night?
I saw the highlight that I'm sure you were referring to where the guy basically just decked the Duke player.
So my thing on that is tell me this. The guy needs to go back to acting school. Obviously, he needs to go to New York or Broadway, to the Broadway to try to get some acting lessons. Because his response was this. He said, my momentum was carrying me too fast, and I tried to stop, but I couldn't. Mm-hmm. My thing was I saw a kid in shoulder pads running down the field, hoping that Dabo Swinney would actually see him and recruit him as a defensive player, because Clemson's going to need a lot of defensive players this year to basically, match up to what they need. But my thing was, how could your momentum carry you to where not only he's in the air, but you're in the air as well? I'm just like, if it's me and Clemson or the team from the upstate has any class at all, he doesn't deserve to be on the basketball team. I'm not saying that he shouldn't play basketball again, but if I was Clemson, and even though our basketball team is horrible and has been since the golden days, then kick him off the team and at least, because you're on national television embarrassing your university.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a bit of a hot take here because I saw it, and it was a dirty play for sure. I didn't see what he said after. I think he put something on his Instagram story, like apologizing. I think somebody actually, actually posted that. Let's see.
Twitter as well, on Twitter.
Yeah, he put up like a big apology and everything. And I'll tell you this again, so maybe this is a hot take. I don't think the kid's career should be over because he got, obviously I think what happened in the moment, kid got the ball stolen. He got frustrated as hell. And, he made a play he shouldn't have. He made a play he shouldn't have flat out. He took out his frustration in a way he shouldn't have. You want to suspend him a couple games, so be it. But personally, I wouldn't kick him off the team. I wouldn't ban him from the university. I mean, I'll just put it to you this way, too. This is not me justifying. I'm taking all biases out of it. I'm thinking if this happened at South Carolina, it was one of our guys.
Which it would.
Right. I'm just saying, though, if it ever did, like whatever, it's whatever. If it ever did, there have been guys that have done way worse stuff, like off the court, that got way less of a punishment than being kicked off the team. So, I just – it was bad. It was dirty. I wouldn't banish the kid from the game of basketball for life. That's just me. I mean, I think dudes get away with a lot worse off the field of play. Yeah. I think he definitely has to be suspended for sure. But, I mean, Do you pull a kid's scholarship and boot him off the team? You hear coaches talk about all the time about giving kids second chances and all that, and teaching moments and lessons. And it'll be one for that guy. Again, I know we hate Clemson. I hate Clemson, but yeah, some of the stuff I saw, and of course, Twitter is hot takes and everything, and I get it. It looked bad. It was bad. I wouldn't like banish the kid from the game of basketball, though. You made a mistake. You made a bad play, a dirty play. He should be punished for it, but emotional play that should have never happened.
And like I said, I don't think he should be banned from the actual, from the game of basketball himself. But to me, I know if I can tell you this right now. If that happened with Frank Martin on the court, there's no way he's playing the rest of the season.
Right.
Just because we know Frank Martin, and he's like, you're not just doing this for yourself. Like, that was a selfish play. He wasn't representing Clemson University as he's supposed to, in a way, especially on national television. I can understand if it was just on the AUC network where there's like maybe 100 people watching, but you have millions of people watching. And Clemson, and there's Clemson fans. This is how Clemson fans basically say that this is an okay play. They said that because of the Grayson Allen play that happened back in 2016, whenever he, took out the player. The difference between what Grayson Allen did was the guy could have ended the play that happened last night. If he had landed a different way, he could have ended his whole career. So if the shoe was on the other foot and say the other guy did land the other way and possibly ended his career, then what do you do with that kid? You tell them, okay, we're going to give you a second chance to play on this team, or you're just going to say, look, we don't condone that kind of that misconduct of behavior here at Clemson University. Now, him transferring to, obviously he's a great enough player to play D1 basketball. I'm not taking that away from him. But if it was my university, there's no way he's playing there, because that was a Division III type play where you're that upset. Like, nobody really pays attention, but it's just only the people in the stands can see. That's the type of play that was. And not saying he won't do it again, but he won't do it again at our university, and nor will he be able to dress in a jersey for the rest of the year. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's it on that. And whenever we get the chance to link up, my buddy from the connections that I have with on the baseball, he connected with me today, and I know that conversation that we had when we were at the scrimmage last time. I don't want to say it too loud, but you were talking about you were going to talk to Scott about trying to get some other stuff. Well, my guy at the university said that he actually had some things for me, and one of them were your size. I do remember you saying that your size. So he had 2 pairs for me, and one in my size and another in yours. And that way I could go ahead and get you that thing what you were talking about. You and I were talking about that one time.
Gotcha.
So
appreciate that, man. Good looks. Good looks for sure.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that was it. That was just my hot take. I'm going to enjoy my Friday. Definitely for sure. Especially finding out that, my little brother who actually graduated from the team from the upstate, but in his remarks, he's went to Clemson, and he just bought a house and is about to get engaged. So hopefully, all is well with that, and I'm going down to help him next weekend to move. But yeah, I'm looking. Who do you got on the Rams and the Super Bowl? Who do you have between the Rams and Cincinnati?
Yeah, I'm going Rams. I think that everybody, and I know Vegas favors the Rams. I just at some point, Joe Shiest's going to lose an elimination game. At some point. So I just think everybody's going to say, no, you got to go Bengals, man. You can't bet against Burrow. And I think it's just you always fade the public. And, again, I know the Rams are favored, but everybody I've talked to says that about picking the Bengals and don't go against Joe Burrow. And it's like I think maybe it's run its course. And I think the Rams are the better team top to bottom. So, but we'll see. It's going to be a heck of a matchup for sure.
Yeah. And that's my thing is the only thing that gets me from Cincinnati has a good defense and offense. but the Rams have a better offense and defense throughout the whole game. Cincinnati's defense only shows up in the second half like they did against Tennessee. And that's the only thing that scares me is because, say, for instance, Joe Burrow gets sacked another 9 times. Well, against Tennessee also had Derrick Henry come back just for that one playoff game that didn't play since week 8. So there was a lot to overcome in that. At the same time, you look at the other side of the Rams ball and you look at Cincinnati's defense, I don't see a corner being able to handle Tyler Higbee or a linebacker to say that or to contain them the whole entire game. Or I don't see 2 cornerbacks or even a safety being able to contain Odell Beckham Jr. and the whole entire game.
Yeah.
Eventually, they will get exploited. Now, the Rams, they have 2 very good cornerbacks and a good linebacker core, and plus a good D-line that just doesn't even compare to what the Cincinnati has. And eventually the Cincinnati defense will get worn down from that running game, that offensive line of the Los Angeles.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, that's it. Continue on with the show. And kudos, bro. And it's a great day to be a Spurs, man. It's a great day to be a Gamecock, as always. So,
CJ, I agree,
good
man.
luck and thanks for
Yeah,
your call,
I appreciate the call, my friend. I'm sure I'll see you at the field very soon. So.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Indeed.
All right, man. Take care, brother. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. Today may be Phil's least favorite Daily Crow of all time. He said, that is 1,000 times longer Clem Sucks basketball talk than I ever wanted. I mean, Phil, we can talk about it. Listen, I always tell people, if you don't like what a caller's saying, if you don't like somebody specifically calling in, you call in. I think, by the way, guys, what I'm going to do is this. From now on, actually, never mind. But anyways, if you don't like somebody calling in, you call in. Take up the time. Block the airwaves block the phone line so they can't get in. Guys, podcast did drop this morning, episode 597. Full breakdown of the game tomorrow as the Gamecocks take on Georgia. Of course, guys, we've got our watch party in Augusta at Carolina Ale House. So again, if you're in the CSRA, would love to have you guys come out. Carolina Ale House in Augusta, Georgia. All the details are on social media. Tip-offs at 2. We'll be out there around 12:30 or so, 12:45, something like that. But I've dropped my full breakdown, prediction, all that good stuff. It's already on social media. I've actually got the Gamecocks getting the dub. I've got South kind of getting the dub in this one. Again, you look at this matchup, you look at this game, and I know Georgia has played better basketball of late for sure. They've played better basketball of late, right? Lost by single digits to Florida, almost beat Auburn, lost to them by 2 points. But it has not mattered over the last couple of seasons. It has not mattered how good or bad South Carolina has been or how good or bad Georgia has been. The Gamecocks have always found a way to get the dub. Just somehow, some way, they found a way to get the win. And what's interesting about this game is this. South Carolina enters this game on a 3-game losing streak. Georgia enters on a 4-game losing streak. So somebody is going to break a losing streak tomorrow. And I know you've got to go on the road. I think the thing that scares me in this one, too, is that you had Georgia on your home floor. They were up on you with 10 minutes to go, and you went on that crazy run to get the victory, and you ended up winning by 17. Does going on the road really make that much of a difference in this ball game? It's not like Stegman Coliseum is some intimidating atmosphere, guys. It's not like it is. So, with that being said, I just think you got to pick the Gamecocks. I mean, South Carolina has won 11 straight games in the series. How can you pick against them? How can you pick against them taking on Georgia? How can you pick? And it's weird, too. It's weird that there's these teams and these coaches that Frank Martin has so much success against, and Georgia and Tom Crean is one of them. I mean, whatever it is, he can't lose to Georgia. And guys, I'll tell you this. I'll take it a step further, and I don't mean to be overly dramatic, but I'm actually dead serious saying this. Frank Martin talked after the loss on Tuesday about his players having juice and not having enough juice, and certain guys being lackadaisical and not showing up and showing out and bringing a lot of energy and juice to the table in that game against Kentucky. If that is the case yet again tomorrow, if South Carolina, for whatever reason, comes out flat, uninspired, unmotivated, and somehow, some way loses to a Georgia team that is 1-10 in conference play, just leave Martin Athens. Don't even let him get back on the bus.
Call from
Sam.
Because that will show he really, truly has lost the
to
team.
accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Sam, what's up? How are you?
Oh, say can.
All right. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. At this point, it's getting really easy to identify the people that are calling in with pure nonsense, which, hey, I mean, either way, I appreciate it because the phone lines are rocking. But, yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to get hung up on in 2 seconds, be my guy. I love it. I love it. It's honestly great. It's getting really easy to identify all the numbers we got to block because, I mean, nobody wants to hear from, put up with the nonsense, my guy. Like, come on. At least, like I said, at least be creative in the trolling. Start with sports, get about a minute into the call, and then you go into, we've had some good troll calls on these airways before. We've had some very good. I've had some people make me look very dumb. So, if you want to do so, I mean, come on, at least be creative. But either way, listen, you lose to Georgia. That truly, Rodney says Georgia will put the nail in the coffin for Frank, 72-63. That will be the final nail. That would be the final nail, truly. I mean, Georgia's not a good team. Again, they're 1-10 in conference play. That would be the final nail in the coffin. It really, truly would. So we will see what happens. Again, I got the Gamecocks getting the W. And a lot of it, guys, again, I'm just basing off of success against Georgia in the series. I mean, again, you won 11 straight against these guys. 11 straight. Hadn't mattered how good or bad you've been. You've won 11 straight. But again, the big storyline to me in this one is the juice factor, as Frank Martin talked about after that Kentucky game. The juice factor. Can he motivate these players? Can he still motivate this team to show up and play with the juice that he spoke about? The juice that they lacked against Kentucky. Because, again, the only way South Carolina loses to Georgia is that they don't bring the juice, and that will tell us all we need to know that Frank Martin has completely lost this basketball team. Because South Carolina is a better basketball team than Georgia. No debate. They're a better basketball team than Georgia. The only way you lose is if you don't show up, and if you don't show up, it'll just show that you lost the basketball team.
Call from
The Spurs Up Show, baby mama.
to accept.
How many people do you think there are? How many of these dudes are there? How many of these dudes are there, seriously? I mean, I'm actually kind of impressed at this point. I'm actually very, very impressed. Savannah Webster, yeah, big win last night. Big win last night for the Lady Gamecocks. Very, very big win last night for the Lady Gamecocks. Congrats, Lady G's. Select his first women's team in 11 years for a solo college game day pack CLA. Savannah, I'll actually be at the game, Savannah, against Auburn on Thursday. I'll actually be going to that one. So I guess I might go Sunday, too. Hold on. When is that game, Savannah? When is that game? Let's see. Let's see. The game against Tennessee, right? That's the one. Is it February the 20th? Yeah, okay, Sunday. See, the only thing that stinks about it, though, is that is literally the Sunday game, and the Gamecocks baseball team has a game as well. So we'll have to figure that out. They play at 1. Carolina baseball plays at 1:30. So there you go. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. So how do we deal with that, Savannah? How do we dance around that? Tony Sharp. I don't have a list, Tony, of replacements. I don't. There's been a lot of names floating around. The Furman coach, Mike Boynton, all that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, again, bring in the juice, man. I mean, that's what Frank Martin cited. That's what he talked about. Can South Carolina bring the quote-unquote juice? Senator Webster says ESPN moved it up. It was supposed to be at 3 or 4, I assume, because of baseball. Well, Savannah, that now they're at the same time, so I don't know how that would have made any sense to move it and those two be overlapping. Because baseball plays at 1:30, they play at 1 o'clock. Yeah, so. But either way, yeah, college game day coming to Columbia, big deal. Also, in case you missed the big news yesterday, of course, the spring game is a night game. Huge news there. But, yeah, I mean, again, not to repeat myself, but I'll just keep saying it over and over again. I mean, bringing the juice, bringing that swagger, bringing that edge. You would think you would play with a lot of confidence against a team. You would play with a lot of confidence against a team that you've beaten 11 times in a row. You've beaten 11 times in a row. So, yeah, I just – we'll see. I mean, we'll see. You should win. You should win, in my opinion. You should win. So, Courtney Washington, UGA beat Bama, almost had Auburn and State. Yeah, Georgia beat Bama actually the game after they lost to us. So, still, man, they're 1-10. I mean, Courtney, they're 1-10, man. They are 1-10 in conference play. Georgia's no good. Georgia stinks. Georgia stinks. That's really put it. They stink. So, Justin, I've actually already got ESPN Plus because of last year. And, yeah, that's another thing in case you missed it. I don't think that's something we really talked about. But the TV schedule for baseball has been released. Also, in case you missed it, yesterday afternoon, Will Sanders earning preseason second-team All-SEC honors. And I've seen a lot of reactions to this as well because the Gamecocks were picked 5th in the SEC East, and a lot of fans freaking out, oh, my God, fire Ray Tanner, the glory days. Guys, do you realize that the year 2010, that 2010 team came in the season unranked? Did you know that? Unranked. And then won the national championship. And do I want to see South Carolina picked at the top of the polls and picked to win the East? And all? Yes, I do. Of course we all do. Of course we all do. But what you find right now is a situation where Gamecocks have unknowns. They haven't been to Omaha in a decade. And so I think a lot of the preseason polls and what D1Baseball.com does, what Baseball America does, what the coaches that make their picks do, you know, they give the benefit of the doubt to the teams that have been to Omaha more recently. They give the benefit of the doubt to the teams that have had a recent stretch of success over the last few years. Because Vandy's got questions. Florida's got questions. Georgia, you took 2 out of 3 from them last year. They've got questions. You swept Florida. Tennessee's got questions. And we've got questions. We don't have anything that any other team in the East at least has. Now, the West is a true gauntlet. But we don't have anything that the other teams in the East don't have in regards to question marks. Lost 2/3 of your starting rotation? Really? Excuse me. I mean, you really lost, yeah, we'll say 2/3. I mean, you could argue all 3 if you want to factor in Brett Carey. But you lost 2/3 of your starting rotation. You lost your top 3 bullpen arms. And you lost Wes Clark and Brady Allen from your lineup. So, yeah, there's some question marks. But just because you're picked a certain spot in the preseason, it's not like football where it's like that's kind of where you're going to be. Like, you know what I mean? It very, very, very rarely do folks shock in football like that, like they're picked 5th in the league and then they win the East or they win the division. Very rarely does that happen. Baseball, you never know. So, I would say it would be wise for fans to listen to the opinion on this baseball team of folks who have been closest to this team. Because that's who knows the team the best. So, someone like yours truly, who's been to the scrimmages, who's been to the inter squads. I mean, guys, again, I'll tell you this. I'll go on record right now. I would be shocked. I'd be shocked if our lineup isn't better than it was a year ago. I'll be shocked. I'd be flat out shocked. Because while you lose a Wes Clark, you lose a Brady Allen, you have exponentially upgraded at multiple positions. I mean, exponentially upgraded. So, I think this lineup will be a lot better. You're not going to have a guy hit 23 home runs probably. But top to bottom, I think you're going to be a much tougher out. I think that's going to be the difference. Too often last year, and listen, you're going to run into buzzsaws on Friday nights. You're going to run into guys that are first rounders, that are future big leaguers. You're going to run into those guys. And they're going to have nights where they throw really well against you. But the key is being a tough out. Last year, too often, we just made it so easy on guys, man. I mean, these aces cruised. They didn't have to do anything against us. Nothing special. You got no hit last year. So we might not have a guy in the lineup that hits 23 homers, but we're going to be much more well-rounded. And I'm willing to go on that limb right now and say that. I don't think that's a hot take. I think we're going to be much more well-rounded. We've got some key veteran bats that we added from the transfer portal. Overall, I feel good about again, I'll have my full breakdown on all that, guys, on Monday. Full breakdown of the lineup, the pitching staff, predictions, projected lineup, projected rotation, everything. I'll have that full breakdown. But I will go on record right now and say I think we're going to swing it a lot better. I will say this, too. I don't, and I've seen it a decent amount, and listen, we're all entitled to our opinions. If you think this team's going to stink, hey, that's your opinion. You can have that opinion. That's if you can support your opinion, so be it. Have that opinion, whatever. But I do not understand some of the pessimism I'm seeing, some of the pessimism that I've seen from Gamecock fans regarding this baseball team. I know we haven't been to Omaha in a decade. You know it. We all know it. We all know what the goals and the expectations are. But to act like we're coming off a season last year in which we were just terrible, and I know we lost in the regional, guys. I was there. Trust me, I was there. I get it. I know what happened. But the thing I'm encouraged about as well is we didn't just sit on our hands and just hope that, we're just going to depend on these freshmen and we're just going to hope that they pan out. And I mean, dude, we were very active. We were very active in the portal. Mark Kingston was very active in changing coaches. Completely basically overhauled the coaching staff. And again, went out and added quality players, whether it be JUCO, whether it be transfer portal. Obviously, your freshman, your recruiting class. I thought we were very active, though. So, I mean, I don't know how this season's going to play out, but at least I know coming in this year, we took action steps to improve our baseball team over the offseason. We didn't just sit around and hope we'd get better. We took action steps to improve the ball club. And now we'll see if it pans out. Again, guys, it's so funny. Like, some people just act like, again, the people that go into like a season like this and say, well, Chris, I mean, if we miss the postseason, Mark Kingston's going to be on the hot seat. Bro, no shit. It's Carolina baseball. This ain't Carolina basketball. This ain't Carolina football where it's like, well, if we win this many, if we do this, no, we know what the expectations are. It's a championship level program. There are championship aspirations and expectations. Hey, guys, again, I'll talk about it more in depth on Monday, but I would agree with you. We need to go to a super. We got to get out of a regional, man. You got to at least show that you're getting closer to Omaha. I'd agree. I don't disagree with you. But I guess when I look at the expectations for a baseball program, guys, because getting to Omaha is so hard. I don't think people give enough credit to how hard it is. I mean, truly. You go back and look at those teams that won the back-to-back national championships and went to the third straight. Go back and look at all those games and all the moments that had to come together for us to make those runs. And, hey, we did it. We had the players. We had the guys that loved the moment, that believed in each other, and we made it work, right? We made it work. But while that's the goal, that's the standard, that's the expectation, I think people really need to stop and appreciate just how special that was. Because, guys, I'm here to tell you, that'll never happen again. I don't think you'll ever see a team in college baseball go to 3 straight. I don't think you will. I mean, hell, nobody's won back-to-back since South Carolina did it. So, again, we all understand the expectation. My expectation is this, though. Let's just say over the course of a decade. I just say this. As long as you're making the postseason every single year, because in-season, regular season goals are great, right? Regular season goals are awesome. They're great. You know, if we could win 17, 18, 19, 20 SEC games, that'd be awesome. If you could win it, if you could, God forbid, have any type of success in Hoover, win an SEC tournament, that would be great. But, folks, you know as well as I do, it doesn't matter if you win 32 games in the regular season, 42 or 52. What you do in the postseason, that's what matters at South Carolina. Because guess what? If you win 32 games in the postseason, you go 13-17 in SEC play and you just barely get in, but you make it to Omaha, you make a run in the postseason, you get hot at the right time, your season's a success. Tell me I'm wrong. And then on the contrary, if you win 50 games in the regular season, but you go to the postseason and lose out in your own regional, ain't nobody calling that season a success. So, guys, we all get it. We all get it. Let's stop pretending like we have different expectations and standards for Carolina baseball. We all expect the same thing. And Mark Kingston is coming into a very, very, very big year when it comes to his tenure here. Guys, he's no stranger to the expectations. I can assure you. No stranger to it. Those players, I promise you guys, newsflash, they want to go to Omaha more than you do. Believe it or not, they want to go more than you do. So, year one, you go to a super, you're a game away from Omaha. Hey, year two, bad year. Carmen Majinski gets hurt early on. Your team just struggled. Had a bad season. Call it for what it is. 2020, you didn't have a season. I think that was a postseason team. 2021, last year, I thought you had a quality year, man. You had some bad weekends, Texas and Ole Miss specifically, but you did some good things. And we all know what the issue was, but you made the postseason. You hosted a regional. However it happened, you did host a regional. So, yeah, there's pressure, guys. The South Carolina's a pressure cooker. There's always pressure at Carolina baseball. There's always pressure. Let's not pretend like pressure is a good thing. Again, basketball could learn a lot from baseball in the sense that pressure is a good thing. You know why there's pressure on Mark Kingston this year? You know why there's pressure on the baseball program this year? Because there are expectations. There are real, legitimate standards and expectations of excellence. There are standards that people hold that program to. So basketball could learn a thing or two from baseball. At times, I felt like football could learn a thing or two. Pressure's a beautiful thing. It is a privilege to have pressure. It's a privilege. Pressure makes diamonds, folks. So, yeah, there's pressure on Kingston. There's pressure on this team. There's pressure on this season. That's a good thing. It's a good thing to have pressure. We'll see if the team can embrace the pressure and make a run this year. Again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. You guys are kind of quiet today. You guys are a little quiet today. Just Langford says, I'm thinking Boz takes it easy during non-con starts to see how things go. Justin, can I ask you a question? Who are you getting your information from in regards to Bosnick? And who are you getting your info from? I don't think I've been the one that says Boz has looked terrible. I mean, yeah, his velo was down his last start, but it's not something I'm concerned about. It's not something I'm necessarily worried about. And also, I mean, listen, I love my guy Skyland calls in all the time. I'll tell you what, I'll eat my hat if I'm wrong. I'll eat my hat, but whatever insider is out there telling people that Julian Bosnick is going to be the Friday guy and Sanders the Saturday, that is a baffling move if that's the case. I don't know. I don't understand that at all if that actually happens. Justin Langford says, just a feel. Justin, well, I got a feeling that Bosnick is going to shove it up the non-conference's ass. How about that? Break-in, do we have more power in the lineup? I wouldn't say more, but here's the funny thing, break-in, is that, folks, folks, ask me a lot, obviously, about the power this year and are we going to be more small ball? Are we going to bunt a lot? Like, guys, we're still going to hit bombs. We're still going to hit bombs. It's not like we're not going to hit any bombs. But I think we're going to be, like I said, a much more competitive out. I think we're going to be a tougher out. I think that we're going to be a little bit more gap to gap. We're not going to – and here's the hope, actually. I don't want the home run to go anywhere, The problem – listen, the problem wasn't the fact you hit so many home runs last year. The problem was what you did in between all the home runs, right? That was the problem. That's all you did was home runs. That's the only way you were so feast or famine at the plate. You were so feast or famine. So, it's about rounding the rest of your game. Home runs are going to come. Guys like Andrew Eister, Wimmer, Seitler, they're going to hit, Belk, Madden, they're going to hit home runs. They are going to hit home runs. Big, strong dudes, good hitters, especially playing at Founders Park, man, you're going to hit home runs. It's the rest of the time. It's situationally. When you're getting into situations where you need a base knock, you don't have to hit a home run every time. Just be a productive baseball player. And when you don't get a hit, make a productive out. Make a productive out. What a concept. Guy on second, nobody out. Hey, you get the 2 strikes. My friend, you have one job. Find a way to get him to third. Find a way to get him to third. Justin says, hopefully he's tuning up like spring training. What do you think the MLB and MLBPA will come to terms on? Justin, I have no idea about their terms or what they're going to do. Hopefully sooner rather than later, though, because we all love baseball. We love the game, and it's just going to be a shame that spring training is going to be delayed. Robbie Davis says, hey, Chris, just wanted to say hey and thanks again for your prayers for me and my family. Go Cox. Yeah, Robbie Davis will most likely, guys, not be calling in today, believe it or not, because of dealing with family stuff. So.
Call from
Brian Lattimore.
Here we go. Brian, what's up, man? How are you?
Good, man. Looks like you're enjoying the scenery out there.
It feels pretty good outside. Yeah, I got to say. It's like 70, so, you got to enjoy it while you can get it for sure.
Absolutely. I can't wait till we get that, that kind of weather to be the norm again.
Yeah.
Tired of this cold.
Yeah.
Felt like talking some football. You want to talk some football?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So I think this year we might have the biggest shift as far as potential or, just straight up talent, coming into the team that I think we've ever seen. I think that's kind of exciting. What do you think?
I'm going to answer your question with a question of my own because I'm curious to get your feedback on what Chris Marlar said in the sense of when he said – but I do agree with you. Like, we've upgraded massively at a lot of positions talent-wise, especially the most important one, which is quarterback. But I posed this question to you and I guess everybody else. But Marlar made an interesting point because the expectations for us last year, if you go by Vegas, for example, they were 3.5, over under 3.5. So we exceeded expectations, even just going 6-6 in the regular season. Obviously, we exceeded expectations going 7-6. We have upgraded massively talent-wise. I don't disagree. What were your thoughts on his feelings that the expectations should be 6 wins this year? In the sense of that, getting to 6 last year was an overachievement, right? And that, people shouldn't look at, we won 7 last year, so we should win 8 or 9 this year. Like I'm just curious your thoughts on what he said, because I saw some people that were very much so disagreed on social media because we posted the clip yesterday. Some people very, very much so disagreed with that talent upgrade, right? That massive talent upgrade. Is let's just say is going 7-5 good enough when you talk about that talent upgrade?
Well, I'll start off with expectations for last year, right? Vegas started off with a 3.5 wins, being our realistic expectation in their eyes. And I agree with that. Looking back at it, from, how Vegas kind of grades it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So Vegas isn't taking intangibles into play here. They're not looking at the fact that Shane Beamer was, a coordinator or whatever way back when, the energy he was bringing to the program. They're not looking at those intangibles. They're looking at talent on the team. They're looking at, what happened the prior year. You get a brand new head coach coming in, never been a head coach before, never been a coordinator before. So there's a lot of things there that point to, hey, this team, there's no way they perform well this year.
Mm.
But like I said, when you kind of take those intangibles into play, some things kind of go haywire whenever you throw energy into the equation. You get everybody to kind of buy in more than you anticipated. All of a sudden, the ceiling becomes a little bit higher. And I think that's kind of what we saw last year, was he got that team to buy in underneath him. And all of a sudden, some things that seemed impossible became improbable. So you take some of those improbables, if you're able to flip some of those into wins, that's what you saw last year. You got to see some of those improbables kind of come to fruition. So looking towards next year, I mean, I don't disagree with what he's saying. I don't think we should have the same expectations going into next year. But, if we ended up 7-5 in the regular season, I wouldn't be upset about it. I would understand how we got there. I don't expect us to overachieve every single year. Sometimes you're going to have a down year. You're going to lose a game that maybe you thought you were going to win. It happens. I think we're used to it as Gamecock fans. So, but, the goal is to continue moving forward, to try not to regress at the very least. You can go out there and you can perform a lot better and get the same record, but show improvement. A lot of people want to be excited about that. They won't be happy about it, but it's the reality of college football. Every team out there is doing the same thing we're doing. They're upgrading at key positions. They're upgrading their coordinators, whatever, to try to win more games. Every team out there is trying to win games just like we are. So, of course, we want to see our team increase win potential every year, but it's not always going to happen.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, Brian, that, everybody's trying to win. So, like, you can look at it this way. We all love the Gamecocks, right? As much as you love the Gamecocks, there's a Kentucky fan that loves the Cats the same way you do. And there's a Gator that loves them the same way you do. And there's a Volunteer fan loves the Vols the same way you do. And they all are thinking the same thing, my guy. And I'm not, like, saying that in, like, a negative. It's just that's the beauty, the passion that drives college athletics and college football and, allows, honestly, someone like me to do what I do. Thank God for the passionate, almost to a degree, deranged Gamecock fans. Like, thank God for the diehards. But, and coaches like Stoops and Heupel and, hey, they all feel the same pressure that Shane Beamer feels, and they all went to the portal, and they all recruited. And everybody's trying to win. Yeah, everybody is trying to win. It's not a scenario we're going to play Kentucky and we're like, they're gonna feel bad for us, right? Like, oh, we beat y'all a lot lately. We're gonna lay down and beat Kentucky again. They're not gonna do that. So yeah, I mean it's an interesting dynamic to it, but it's the SEC, man. I mean, it's just you got to embrace the challenge. That's it. You got to embrace the challenge and hope and believe that your processes and your structure and your culture and the guys you're bringing in, you got to. Believe that you can develop them and get the most out of them. And you got to, to some degree that it's on the players too. And so, for example, I mean, we just got to hope that Spencer Rattler's going to turn into what we hope he's going to be. We don't know. You know what I mean? Like, we just don't know. So, you need to hit on those type of guys and those guys become and put them in the best possible position to become, legends at your school. So, I tend to agree with you, though, man. I will be probably once again the guy injecting perspective into this season. I just, I know we added some awesome pieces. We did. And to a degree, I get it, though, man. I get it. I get it for fans to think that, well, I mean, you went 6-6 with basically no quarterback. Just call it for what it is. But you went 6-6 with a grad assistant, a hurt Luke Dodie, and an FCS transfer. So I understand where fans will feel like if we go 7-5, it's like, did we really get the most out of what we were sold, I guess, or what we brought in? You know what I mean? But at the same time, like you said, my man, it's all about making slow incremental progress. And so I look at it, if you can go 7-5, but those 7 wins, you're blowing out your non-conference outside of Clemson. You're beating a Vanderbilt handily. You know what I mean? Again, the way you win, I talked about that a lot. The way you win is very important. And I think that's the thing that made it really tough because, people forget it now because we waxed UNC in the bowl game and all is well. But I mean, that 6-6 was anything but easy, right? I mean, 5 of the 6 were come from behind wins. And, I'll put it to you like this. That over-under win total, I thought it was disrespectful at 3.5. I really did. But we were a lot closer to being a 4-8 team than a 7-5 team in the regular season. I mean, we were very, very, very fortunate to go 6-6. Very fortunate. So,
yeah.
And that's just the reality of it. We could have easily lost to ECU. We could have lost to Troy. God, we probably should have lost to Vanderbilt. Truly, we probably should have. So, that's why I kept preaching when you got that 6th win. Like, let's make sure we put appreciation on what Shane Beamer and company did, just holding the thing together. Because, there was a couple of times it could have gone off the tracks a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, I think fans, we sort of we get ourselves into trouble when we go, we won this many last season, so we have to win this many next season. It's like each season stands on its own merit. And, it's going to get off to a fast start. I think that Arkansas game week 2 provides a great opportunity. But, yeah, I would just say to fans, hey, let's be fair to Shane Beamer, be fair to the coaching staff, be fair to that roster and those players, and let's not come into the season with these wild expectations of winning 10 games or something like that. Let's still understand that it's a process, and he's going to need time to build the program.
Yeah, and I mean, I put it to you this way, think about, the saying that, we always throw out there, generally speaking, things aren't as good as they seem, and they're not as bad as they seem.
That's a fact.
So when you have the really good times, generally speaking, you should fall somewhere underneath there. Or when the times are really bad, sometimes, maybe things are a little bit better than they seem. So I think you kind of have to take that into play here. Let's talk theory here. Let's say we can go back and re-simulate the whole season. Keep the same kind of things that happen. Luke Dodie gets injured before week 1, whatever. But you re-simulate the games and how they play out. How many times do you think we finish the season 7 or 6 and 7-6, or even better for that matter?
Yeah,
not very many, right?
Yeah, I'd agree. No, I'd agree. Absolutely.
We'd be a lot closer to the 4-8 win total, or 4-9, 5-9, 5-8, whatever. I think we'd be a lot closer to that than where we ended up at 7-6. And I do performance testing on the civilian side. That's my job. So we do things called establishing a baseline. You don't just run one test,
right, and
say, all right, this is our baseline. What we should be expecting. That's kind of what we sit here with the football season. We played one season, ended up 7-6. That does not necessarily mean that's where we should be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we ended better than we really should have. And you even said it, 5 out of 6 games, come back, victories, whatever. So, people just need to kind of understand that we're probably ahead of the curve right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we got to bring that back to reality a little bit, before the end of, beginning of the next season. Then you can kind of factor in all the good and figure out, where you should be. And I kind of look at that 7-5, 8-4 total. That's about where we should be, given what we have, brought in. It wasn't a typical year. We didn't just have an average, recruiting class. Bringing in, some of the transfers we got should do wonders for our program, in very key areas. There's no doubt we should see improvement.
Mm-hmm.
But, 10 wins, that's a little excessive. That would have to be much more towards the high end of the ceiling of potential as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And when, I'm going to do it once we get into summer and everything and we lock in official predictions. But, of course, we always do best case, worst case, all that good stuff. And, I would certainly put 10-2 at the best case, maybe even better than the best case, if we're being totally honest. So, but hey, man, again, that's the beauty of the off season. Hope springs eternal, and everybody's 0-0. Who knows?
But the good thing is, we'll have those answers sooner rather than later when the season starts.
Oh, yeah.
You start your year off against Georgia State. We know Sean Elliott, his team. They're feisty. I'm not going to say we're going to go out there and lose that game, but I don't think it's going to be a walking, cakewalk.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be some struggles in that game. Maybe maybe he comes out with a trick play or something. I think it could be an exciting game. I still think we'll win handily, but it should be an exciting game. It's not just going to be a 56-7 kind of blowout in my eyes. But then that week 2 matchup is one you really have to circle. That game against Arkansas at Arkansas is a game that's really going to, I don't know if I want to say define your season, but it's going to tell you what kind of team you got. I mean, if we go out there and we're competitive and come away with a close loss, that kind of bodes well for the rest of the season too. But you don't want to lose that game in dramatic fashion. But all of a sudden you're 1-2 after playing Georgia. I mean, yeah, we can talk about maybe upsetting Georgia, but I just personally don't see it. I'm not counting on it. I'm not going to speak it into existence yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this, Brian. Like, not to be negative, but like, it feels like it's a tale as old as time, and I just feel like I've seen it so many times where we spend the entire off season, entire preseason, getting so fired up, and again, hope springs eternal, and we're talking about, hey, is this the year we compete for the East? We do this, we do that, and we have our normal cakewalk opening game or what have you. We start the year 1-0, and we have that traditional matchup against Georgia the second week or whatever. And we just get smacked. And in one Saturday, everybody comes crashing back down to reality. You know what I mean? Like, in one Saturday. So I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. But, like, yeah, let's not – I mean, I think it's wise to wait and see versus setting the expectations so lofty and then getting punched in the face against Georgia again. You see what I'm saying? So I've just seen it. I know you have too. We've seen it time and time and time again. I think back to like 2018, and I know this is a different coaching staff, different team, but I think back to 2018, man, and just all those preseason expectations and thoughts of maybe winning an SEC East, and Georgia comes in and just stomps on us. It's just like, well, back to square one. So.
Yeah, I mean, they're just on a different level right now. Until we get to the point where we can compete in the trenches, you might steal one every 5 years or something if you're lucky. But we got to continue recruiting, continue developing to be able to get there. And we're not there. We're still a couple, 2 or 3 years out at best if they keep on in the trajectory they're going. As far as I'm concerned, like you might be able to steal one here and there, but it's not something I would call a win, or hell, I don't even know if I'd say we were within a touchdown on the spread when the game comes around.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like I said, games like Arkansas, really kind of will define your season. You want to have a 10-2 team, you better circle week 2 and go out there and perform. If you don't win that game, there's a lot more games on the schedule that are more daunting than Arkansas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a huge swing game for your season, I think, for sure. And, again, just a great opportunity on what I'd assume will be, national TV to make a statement, to the country and let everybody know, hey, we're here, we're ahead of schedule, and, we're coming for blood in 2022. So.
Yeah, it should be pretty cool, too, because I think one of Oklahoma's receivers ended up going to Arkansas. I think Jaden Hazelwood, or whatever his name is.
Real good player. So Arkansas is a good team. They got a good program.
You get a battle of some Arkansas or Oklahoma transfers.
Yeah.
See who wants it more. Anyways, fun to talk football for a little bit. I'll let you go, man.
Brian, I appreciate the call as always, my friend. Thank you so much. Good stuff. Yeah. I know that I will be that guy injecting perspective yet again for Gamecock fans going into the season. I know I'll be that guy without a doubt. I just think it's wise to let Shamer build and not put unrealistic expectations on him. That's just my take. 843-790-3377. Guys, we're going to go and jump into our first break again. Appreciate you all. We are enjoying this beautiful weather out here. It's incredible, man. Feels so good outside. Enjoy the beautiful weather, talking Gamecocks, talking to you, taking your questions, your comments, your calls. 843-790-3377. As a leaf just came down and hit me, Kind of scared me a little bit. 843-790-3377. More from you guys on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday. Even you, K-Man847. Appreciate you tuning in, my guy. Justin Langford, the music will return Monday, my friend. Listen, I've actually got music to put on the countdowns. I just have not taken the time to do it. I will do it this weekend. Music will be back on Monday, I promise, Justin. I've actually already got the music. We're good to go. I've got the music. We're good to go.
Call from
Talk.
Yeah, I'm definitely not taking a call from a no-caller ID. With the boys giggling in the background. Come on, my guy. Again, you got to be smarter. You got to be wiser. You got to be better, kid. Just be better. Just be better. Austin, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you tuning in. We're doing well. We're doing very well here on this Friday. Having a Friday. Yeah, Justin, I don't know if it's a surprise. I just have not taken the time to do it. So I apologize. Just been really busy, man. Obviously, yesterday was busy making content, doing the show, and came down from Columbia. So just didn't really have the time to stop and do it. So I will get that done over the weekend. I'll get that done over the weekend, and we will have new music. We will have new music. Oh, we got the dogs out here. We'll have new music starting Monday. So just FYI. All right. Again, guys, do want to hear from you. 843-790-3377. That's 843. Arizona number. How about this?
call from
Jerome.
Let's
to
see what this
accept,
is.
press 1. To
Fire away. You're on the air.
Chris, baby, hey.
I mean, really, Arizona too. How many? I'm serious. How many dudes are there? How many dudes are there? How many do we think there are? Or is this like just one person creating fake numbers? Austin Grace's favorite go-to soda. Not a huge soda guy, my guy, honestly. I drink water, coffee, and if I'm drinking alcohol, whatever alcohol choice there is. If I had to drink a soda, I definitely liked back in the day Dr. Pepper. I mean, a Coke is good with me, like honestly. I'm not gonna grab a soda. I'm not gonna grab a soda, my guy. Not gonna grab a soda. So I'm not going to grab a soda.
call from
Oscar.
to
Oh,
accept,
bro, if you think I'm answering that, you're an idiot. Let's see. Anybody actually want to call in and talk Gamecocks? You can, whatever. Let's see. Again, guys, podcast dropped this morning. Full prediction for the game tomorrow. Gamecocks taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. Watch party tomorrow at Carolina Ale House in Augusta, Georgia. All are welcome. So even the boys that are calling in, Spider-Man, whoever, you guys are welcome to come out too. Luke RJ giving me advice on when to answer and when not to answer. By the way, Luke RJ, you made a great point today when you said that the clip that I made about tattooing Frank Martin's face on my ass if we made the tournament, that's why I'm not allowed to talk to Shane Beamer. Well, and again, and I said it on social media to you, my friend, and I'll say it again. I will take creative control and being able to say what I want any day of the week over interviewing a coach. So, Austin Greer, I'm outside today because I'm out of town. I'm not in Columbia. We are in North Augusta. I'm hanging out with the family. Of course, tomorrow, watch party in Augusta. So, decided to go ahead, come down early. Went and watched the North Augusta boys last night in their scrimmage. Went and watched the North Augusta boys last night in their scrimmage. They took, I forget the team they played, but watched them in their scrimmage. So, had a really good time. Figured we'd go down, or come down, if you will, and, yeah, so had a good time. Just figured we'd come down early. And I've been doing this on Fridays also. I've been doing it on Fridays. We've been having like these remote daily crows. I really want to do more remote. I really do. Because we have the flexibility. We have the ability. Why not do it? Why not do it? So, let's see. Yeah, tenderly. I don't know. I don't know, man. It is what it is. The business is booming. Everybody wants to touch it. Everybody wants to get a piece. Business is booming. So what can you say? Like I said before, guys, we dropped the prediction in regards to the game tomorrow. Juice might be the word of the day. Can South gonna bring the juice? Frank Martin sighting against Kentucky. They didn't have the juice. I'm gonna
Call from
Phil. Hello?
Anyways, the juice. Got to bring the juice. Chris Thomas, tailgating is the same spot as last year. I don't know. Seawells was a good spot. Seawells did really well for us. That was a great setup too. So,
call from
Phil.
hey Phil, can I ask you a question?
Yo.
Yo, what's up, Phil?
What's up? I had a couple questions about the upcoming recruiting class. Like, who you're most excited for?
Which sport?
And are any of them like, oh, my bad, football?
Not the guys that just signed, right? The upcoming class.
Well, yeah. Actually, the guys who just signed, because they'll be coming in, and as freshmen, I was wondering who you think could have a big impact on next season.
I think Stone Blanton. Blanton and Landon Sampson.
That's Landon. What's his last name? The guy from Texas, right?
Yeah, Sampson.
Yeah, I think Stone's pretty I've seen him at a couple camps, and he's strong. He's big.
He's pretty quick.
Yeah, he is. I think he benches a bunch.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's enough for him to pick me up and fuck me. Wait, fuck me. He can pick me up and fuck me. Oh my god. Oh my god. Stone's so big.
Anything else, Phil?
It's just food. Spider-Man. Oh my god. Stone can pick my fuck Spider-Man. Oh yeah. Spider-Man, I've been fucking fucking Green Goblin. Fuck him. You know what I'm talking about? Yep.
Phil, I'll let you host the show if you want to do it. We'll just make this the Phil hour.
Oh yeah, make it Phil hour. Make it Phil and Stone hour.
Dude, we'll get you in studio. I'm sure you're in Columbia. We'll just get you in studio. Hey Phil, one last thing, okay? One last thing. Don't be such a pussy and don't call from a no caller ID, my guy. Don't be such a pussy next time. All right. Don't be such a pussy, bro. Come on. Sorry for the language, but I wanted to let Phil go there. At least he obliged to what I asked earlier to at least start it off with sports. So, Phil, I will give you my address, my guy. You can come to the studio. We'll have you sit down behind the mic, and we'll go one-on-one, and we'll do it on the Daily Crow. But when you got a call from an unknown, no caller ID, you're a bitch. You're bitch made. You're a bitch. You, Air Josiah, whoever else. We've had some others too. You're bitch made. It's all a big bitch family. So, and I don't think his name's Phil. Again, you're calling from an unknown, no caller ID. You're a bitch. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I appreciate you trolling. Those calls, that's Twitter in real life. But you are a bitch. You're a certified bitch. It's okay. Your mom's a bitch. Your dad's a bitch. And they babied you a bitch. You're bitch made. So, now those are Gamecock fans for sure. Those are Gamecock fans. Now, listen, There are, I would say there are as many, if not more, Gamecock fans that like to screw with me and don't like me as much as there are Clemson fans. So it's all good, man. Like I said, it's all love. It's all love. I love it. Again, it means business is booming. It means business is booming. I apologize for the language, but it means business is booming. You're not going to call into a show that ain't doing shit. So it is what it is. Phil, you're welcome to call. If you want to call back in from not a no-caller ID, have some nuts on you, I'm more than happy to welcome it. Like I said, at least he gave me what I wanted and started the call off with sports. Or just whatever. Or just started off as like a normal conversation with an actual human being. So let's see. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's literally the local circle jerk. All these dudes calling in. Let's see. Thomas Walker says, what do you think happens with Luke Dodie? Is he the backup? Does he switch positions? Does he transfer? I don't think he's going to transfer. I think Luke Dodie's a Gamecock through and through. I don't see that happening. I think he'll do whatever is asked of him, whatever's needed to help the football team. Here's the thing. You just got to come up with a game plan. You got to come up with a game plan for Luke Dodie. You can't allow what happened to Dak Joyner to happen to Luke Dodie, in the sense that they never really decided. They never really came up with a plan for him. And I think in the end, it just stunted his development as a whole. Because is he a quarterback? Is he a receiver? Where do we put him? And you saw him this past year, and I'm not trying to knock the kid, but he never really developed and evolved into anything concrete. He's just sort of an athlete, and that's fine. But when you're trying to win football games and you're trying to put guys in the best possible position to be successful, you just sort of, he never really was a receiver, guys. That's not saying he can't be a good one this year. I believe in Justin Stepp and the development, but you just got to come up with a plan for Luke Dodie. You got to come up with a plan. If he's not going to play quarterback, then don't have him back there, If he can help you the most at receiver, then just put him at receiver. But don't just let him float around back and forth and tell the media one thing and tell your fan base another thing. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, just come up with a game plan, because obviously he's got a skill set. Find out how you can most effectively use that skill set and go from there. So, let's see. Austin Greer, Tennessee is the third best team in the SEC next year. I truly believe that. The third best team in the entire conference, really. I mean, they're going to be talented. Their quarterback's good. Got a very good quarterback. They got a very good quarterback for sure. Let's see. Chris Thomas, thoughts on converting Dodie to tight end? I mean, do you really think he has the size to move to that? Like, will he really be able to put on the size to move to that position? I don't really know that I see it. Glenn Scott, do you think Jaheem Bell will stay as a hybrid tight end or go full wide receiver? Love the show. Glenn, thank you. Appreciate the love and support. Will he go hybrid tight end or full-on wide receiver? I would say I think he's going to be sort of hybrid all over the place. I think he's going to play a little bit of everything. I'd love to see him shift outside. I mean, listen, there's many ways he can help you. He showed you in the bowl game what he can do outside as a threat. So I'd put Bill on the outside. But again, he's a dude that you just get in one-on-one matchups, let him work, let him eat. So he's a nightmare in one-on-ones. In case you missed it, by the way, D1Baseball.com dropping their top 150 outfielders heading in this season. Gamecocks had 2 players listed, Andrew Eister at 122nd and Josiah Seitler at 145th. So those 2 guys making the top 150 in regards to outfielders heading in this season. David McCullum, been echoing what you said about Dodie for over a year. He is not a full-time quarterback. Well, I mean, I didn't really say that. I didn't say that. I believed in Luke Dodie. I still think he could have been successful last season if he was healthy. I really do. I'm sorry, David. I will die on this hill, but Jason Brown did nothing that Luke Dodie couldn't have done. The only thing that happened when Jason Brown played is we actually ran the ball well. And I tell you what, man, when you look back on a season, some of the conclusions that are drawn by people just to support their opinion and their narrative, when you look back, you're like, how silly was that? And this isn't to call anybody out because I'm friends with some of these people. But it's so silly. Like, I remember when Jason Brown, when we took down Florida and we ran for like 280 on them. And I actually had a buddy of mine try to convince me the reason we ran the ball so much better and the reason we played so much better offensively against Florida was because, well, the offensive line, they knew who QB1 should be all along. So they're playing harder. They're playing more physical. They're playing better for him. And I'm just like, what? Come on, dude, like what? What? I mean, again, it's funny now looking back, but the opinions people come up with on a week in, week, and we all have takes, right? We all have takes. I have takes that are wrong. I have takes that are way off, right? We all do. We have takes that are right, wrong, and different, whatever. But when you start making takes and conclusions on things happening behind closed doors, like you're drawing a lot of conclusions that you really don't know all that much about. So, no, I don't think the offensive line played better because Jason Brown got the nod in the last couple of games. No, I don't believe that. Nope, I don't believe that for a second, my guy, because they didn't play well in every game he was the quarterback. Yeah, I mean, people literally going out on a limb saying, well, the offensive line they wanted to play better for Jason. Like, so they didn't want to play well for Luke Dodie? Like, God, if that's the case, we need a whole brand new group because I don't want guys on my team like that. They're gonna play hard for one guy and not for another. That's insanity. Insanity. David McCullum says, think Joyner should have been given a chance as full-time quarterback last year. I'm not there and watched Dodie all the time last year and thought he should have been a quarterback. Well, David, David, I'll tell you this. Because a lot of people said that after the bowl game, right? Why weren't we doing this all year? Why hasn't Dak Joyner been at quarterback? Well, you have to trust your head coach. You have to – listen, Shane Beamer, Marcus Satterfield, Justin Stepp, Greg Atkins, Eric Kimry at the time, the entire offensive staff, they are paid to watch these dudes play, and they're paid to put the best possible players on the field. And so you're telling me that all of these gentlemen watched us practice every single day. They watched film, everything. Nobody suggested Dak Joyner should get a look at quarterback. Nobody did. Are all the coaches inept? Are all the coaches clueless? I mean, I think what Dak Joyner did against North Carolina was fantastic. And I tell you what, Dak is making the most of it. All the NIL stuff he's doing, all the events he's doing, kudos to him. That's awesome. That's what the NIL was put in place for players to take advantage of stuff like that. That's good. He should be. But would that result have happened on a week-in, week-out basis? I don't tend to think so. I think if teams had film on Dak Joyner and had time to game plan for what we were doing offensively, I don't think on a week-in, week-out basis that would be successful. Yeah, and I said this going into last season, so I will knock on wood or whatever saying this. But it's so nice coming into this season knowing we don't have a quarterback controversy. We don't have a QB controversy. We know who QB1 is. Bottom line, end of story. When you look at top storylines going to spring ball, you know, it's around Rattler just in the sense he's here and we want to see him. But it's not about the starting job. The bigger storyline is who's the backup. Who's the backup, right? That's the bigger storyline. So, want to hear from you guys. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Again, guys, we are going till 2:30 because we started at 12:30. So going to 2:30. Go until 2:30. Want to continue to hear from you. More of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side of the break. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I do want to continue to hear from you, your questions, your comments, your calls. You can also text that number if you like. Again, it's game day eve. South Carolina taking on the Georgia Bulldogs at Stegman Coliseum. Of course, guys, quick reminder, our watch party tomorrow in Augusta, Georgia at the Carolina Ale House in Augusta.
Call from
Carlos.
I mean, bro, like how many of these calls do you want to come through? We're just going to – I think here's what's happening right now. I think there's a fraternity on campus at USC that literally they're just getting everybody to call in, all the brothers. And that's cool. That's cool, but I don't know, man. I think it's like every single brother is calling in. I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong. But at least it's becoming very easy to identify who these people are. So, Jeff Gullers, was Dodie redshirted? No, Dodie was not redshirted. You might recall 2020 was his freshman year. But he had the COVID year. So, I mean, he basically was redshirted. So, he was basically redshirted. Yeah, I mean, COVID serves as kind of a red shirt. So, however you want to view it. Let's see. Yeah, Luke RJ, I knew you weren't hating my guy. I don't disagree with you. You're probably right. It's probably why I don't get an interview with Shane Beamer, but to hell with it, man. I'd rather be able to say whatever I want than have one interview with a coach. Luke RJ says Jaheem Bell is the next great player as a wide back, the position that Debo Samuel created, wide receiver / running back. Yeah, he can do that. He certainly can do it. So he certainly can do it. I'm excited to see what Jaheem Bell can do this year. Very excited to see what Jaheem Bell can do. Very, very excited for sure. Again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Be sure to check out the merch, by the way, tsus.store. Merch is absolutely flying off the shelves right now. Business is booming, and appreciate you all, your love and support, like I said, on the merchandise side of things. We're having stuff ship out as we speak. So, again, be sure you get yours today if you want to have any hope of having it in time for opening day. So, we're probably going to be running some specials next week as well. Again, guys, we've got all of our Yardcocks merch, Gilly Gilly, Burgie Barrels, all that good stuff.
call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press.
Sorry, guys. If you don't leave your name, I'm not taking the call. My God, I'm not doing it. So, if you don't leave your name, I'm not taking the call. Pretty simple. If you can't leave a name, I'm not taking the call. So, one of these days, we will have like a producer who will filter out calls and all that good stuff. Right now, we don't have that. But if you can't even leave your name, I'm certainly not taking the call. Jackson Davis, appreciate you tuning in, my guy. He said Luke Dodie shit the bed, hurt or not. Zeb Nolan came in on the last drive and dropped his nuts in their mouth. Yeah, that Vandy game. Yeah, what a. I mean, you got to think that was probably the moment of the season, right? Like that was probably the best moment of the season. So, you got to think it was the best moment of the season, for sure. Let's see. Brian Lattimore, Jaheem Bell could really fill that big body type back we need for short yardage plays if we need it. He could. He's a physical dude. Yeah, Jackson Davis. Yeah, the Florida tailgate was incredible, dude. We had some very wild, very memorable tailgates out at Old Seawells. We most certainly did. We most certainly did, my friend. Yeah, I don't know exactly the future plans for the tailgate. I know somebody asked earlier. Seawells served Very well, though. I mean, it really did, man. It was a great setup. Had huge crowds come out. So, again, guys, I appreciate that. I mean, seriously, we had a blast. Let's see. Again, guys, just 1 week away from opening day. Like I said, guys, the word of the weekend when it comes to Gamecocks basketball and this game tomorrow in Athens, juice. Juice, a word that Frank Martin referenced after South Carolina's loss to Kentucky and saying that his players lacked juice. Do the Gamecocks bring the juice tomorrow and get their 12th straight victory over Georgia? Or do we see more of the same and a team that looks uninspired, unmotivated, not ready to play, and suffers what would effectively be the final straw for Frank Martin in his tenure at South Carolina? You got to bring the juice tomorrow. There's no excuse. You're the better basketball team. You should win. It's a team you've already beaten. And I think you can tolerate a lot of things, but not bringing the juice is not one of them. Not bringing the juice is unacceptable. And I think if you do that, you should find yourself victorious. Again, I think the only way you don't win this game is by, quote-unquote, not bringing the juice and not being inspired and motivated. And again, if that happens, it will show that Frank Martin has lost this basketball team completely. And while I'm not someone that advocates for an in-season change, I don't think it accomplishes a whole lot. You lose tomorrow, and it will not pain me at all if South Carolina were to pull the trigger before season's end. So, does the Gamecocks bring the juice? Do they bring enough of the juice to get the W, a much-needed W, and snap their ugly 3-game losing streak? I think they will. I've picked the Gamecocks to get the win 72-64. We'd love to hear, what are you guys' thoughts and predictions? Here's a better question. Do y'all care? I mean, I know that might sound ridiculous, but I'm curious. Do y'all care? Does anybody care about basketball right now? Is anyone even planning on watching the game tomorrow? Right smack dab in the middle of a Saturday. Right smack dab in the middle of a beautiful Saturday, by the way. You can be doing anything. Smack dab in the middle of a beautiful Saturday. Somebody asked earlier about Gigi Jackson, by the way, the top prospect. Number 1 player. I mean, do we get him? I mean, would you want to come play for Martin? Do you really, really realistically think we get him? Yep, Brian Harsin to be retained. Okay. So, I think what it just goes to show, though, I think what this Harsin stuff goes to show, that it's wild how things and narratives can be spun on social media. Because I feel like all this drama and all this madness was just started by Auburn fans themselves and their boosters and those who support Auburn athletics. Harsin didn't really do anything. Again, even the affair stuff I heard was just fabricated rumors. Did it really happen? Who knows? But there's nothing. There's no proof. There's no proof that it did. Twitter Spaces. I mean, truly. Just Twitter Spaces taking over and people just saying whatever. And so I can imagine, like, Brian Harsin's just sitting there, like, laughing, like, bro, they're just saying stuff makes no sense. None of it's true. Just let them run with it. Yeah, the watch party will be lit, man. The watch party will be dope. Hey, win, lose or draw, the watch party will be fun. I've got family coming out. It's going to be a good time. Friends, family, everybody else. AO Block says, out of the running back room, which one is the future Zaquandre White? And, like, which one will produce? I'm excited for the kid, Beal Smith from Wake Forest. I'm excited for the Beal Smith kid. So, very, very excited for the – yeah, we extended the Daily Crow because I started late. So, started at 12:30. We will go until 2:30. Yeah, Beal Smith led Wake in rushings. I mean, again, I didn't watch a lot of Wake Forest football, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. So, I mean, how good is Lavassier Carroll? You know, I like Juju a lot. I like Juju a lot. I really do. But I don't think he's a bell cow 20, 25 carries a game type back. I don't see it. Luke RJ, there was some talk before the Kentucky game that Martin was going to make some adjustments to the lineup and subs. It really showed to me, and that's why we were able to cover the spread. Well, Luke RJ also, only 7 guys played in the game. Did you realize that? Only 7. Only 7 even saw the floor. And, yeah, I mean, again, hey, give us credit. We played our tails off and we fought. That's all fine and dandy, man. That's all fine and dandy. And, I mean, was I shocked? Not necessarily, because we have a track record against Kentucky at home. We play them well there. We do. We seem to always play them well there. But, what's wild to me, and fans defend it, some do, of like a guy like Kusnar not playing, a guy like Keyshawn not playing, and Frank saying, well, they're just going through some things mentally. They weren't in the right mental space. Can you imagine if that happened in football? Can you imagine if, like, we went into a game and I don't know, Josh Vann didn't play or freaking, like, Spencer Rattler didn't play, and they're like, well, they're just having a tough week mentally, so they're not playing this game. Like, what? Bro, that would not fly. That would not fly. Yeah, they probably need a break mentally, Frank, because you're telling them how much they suck every day. I don't know. Again, I say never make light of one's mental health, but why do we have so many guys that are dealing with stuff? Like what's going on? I mean, what is going on, man? What is going on? I never heard of such a thing. Thomas Walker, pros and cons of a coaching change mid-season. See, I don't know that there's a lot of pros. Like, I really don't. I don't know that there's a ton like that, and I'm not calling for it. You know what I mean? I'm not really calling for, listen, I think with what Frank Martin has done, in his tenure in his career, I've got no issue, absolutely none, with allowing Frank Martin to finish out what he started, finish out this season. Got no issue with that, Got no issue with allowing him to finish what he started. But I'm telling you, if you lose to Georgia, it will just show you've completely lost the team. You've completely lost the team, my guy. There's just no other way. There's no other way you lose that game, The cons of a coaching change midseason, you might piss off some fans, former – I mean, listen, the second that Martin gets relieved of his duties, you're going to have former players like Sendarius Thornwell and Notice and all that 2017 crew. They're all going to get upset. It happens, man. Change isn't necessarily fun, right? It's not the most fun thing in the world. Breaking up's not fun, right? Breakups aren't fun. But at times, They're necessary. And so, I mean, again, if you lose to Georgia and you've lost the team, it wouldn't bother me. I mean, it wouldn't bother me. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Who was upset when we let go of Muschamp? Somebody just text that in. I think when we did it, I don't know that many were. Now, when I called for it to happen, many were upset. Many. Brian Harsin releasing a statement. I tell you what, he has shown grace in this time, because I tell you what, Auburn fans, boosters, bro, they went in on him, his family, everything. So, Tyler Gay, a coach's name in mind you'd like to see in Columbian basketball? I don't have a specific name, Tyler. Not off the jump. I'll say the same thing that I said about football. Just give me a young, energetic, forward-thinking, offensive-minded coach that's willing to recruit his tail off. Taylor from the Dirty Myrtle, when's this welcome home from a couple of weeks ago going to be revealed? And the idea, I'm thinking it's a 23-0 lineman. Dude, I forgot about that welcome home, honestly. It's just hard to keep up with them all, my guy. I mean, I have no clue. No clue when the kid will announce. None. Absolutely none. Absolutely none. So, Shane Beamer's doing his thing behind closed doors, but, not a clue. Not a clue when that'll happen. Yes, we got to text your question. Tailgates for baseball games. Yes, we're working on that right now, actually, with Carolina Ale House. So, with Carolina Ale House, we are working on that as we speak. Going to be awesome. Trust me. They're meeting, I think, early next week to get the logistics of it down and get the money in place, if you will. But, no, that's certainly, I think, going to happen, and it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be awesome. So I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Jay, yeah, the tight ends coach, I think he's been hired. I don't know that his contract and all has been finalized. That's why the school hasn't announced it. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's been hired. He's been hired. So, he has indeed been hired. Tyler Gate, yes, I've been to the Masters. Yes, the Masters is incredible. What people don't know about me is this. I actually played competitive golf till I was 15. Yeah, my dad played college golf. I played competitive golf till I was 15. And so, I mean, I love golf. I really don't play a lot anymore, I'll be honest. I still love it. But I just stay so busy, guys, doing my thing and making content. And, I don't really make playing golf a priority, if you will. I'd like to get back into it for sure. I'd like to get back into it, but just not really a priority right now. I mean, I stay so busy covering games and going to games and covering the Gamecocks, and and I love that. But yeah. So TSUS charity golf outing. Someone says, I think that's a great idea. That's something I've always wanted to do. I think that's a fantastic idea. I don't think it'd be that hard. Yeah, something we'll definitely do in the future. I mean, again, guys, I am one man. I'm not limiting myself, by the way. I'm one man that can make it happen. But there's a lot of other things that we're working on and figuring out, if you will. But yes, I think at some point, yes, there will be a TSUS charity golf tournament. Yes, or a golf tournament of some sort. yes, I would love I'd love to partner up with someone else and make that happen. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe not just us solo. I'd love to partner up with somebody else and make that happen, though. I really would. That'd be awesome. But the Masters, man, if you've never been, and I know he's probably not in here right now, but Phil, our guy Phil Harris, a.k.a. Rugby Phil, huge golf guy. Huge golf guy. I'll tell you, though, even if you're not a golf person, man, the Masters, the Augusta National is unbelievable. Corey Holly, if we did it, it'd probably be in Columbia. I think that would make a lot of sense, obviously. And, I mean, why not Cobblestone? I love Cobblestone. I think Cobblestone's a great track. So I think that one would be the most convenient and the easiest golf. Somebody texting golf tournament better be an Aiken Golf Club. Aiken Golf Club's dope. I'd be happy with that. Aiken Golf Club's sick. But I just think it'd make a lot of sense for it to be in the middle of the state, in the capital, you know, obviously where TSUS, where our headquarters is. So, but yeah, Courtney's beautiful weather. High of like 71. Obviously, we're out here enjoying it. I'm not even in the sunshine really, and it feels amazing. So being in the sun, yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I've got shorts and a long sleeve shirt on. That's the type of weather it is. So yeah, it's incredible. I might go down to like the river after this or something. Who knows, man? Just really take it in and enjoy it. But we are obviously remote. We are in North Augusta. We are in North Augusta, enjoying the weather, enjoying the scenery, if you will. Enjoying the scenery, enjoying the time. So, let's see. Luke RJ, these players work too hard in the offseason to give up and lay down. They still want to play. I think we beat Georgia if Martin keeps improving his adjustments. By the way, why doesn't Martin look at stats? I don't know. I don't know why Martin does what he does, man. No, listen, I picked us to win. I think we'll come out, we'll play hard tomorrow. I don't think this team is going to quit by any means on Frank Martin or anything like that. No, I think we'll play hard. I didn't love what he said after the game about players having juice and being. It's like you got to get guys fired up to play a top 5 team. But I think, listen, again, there's been one constant over the years. No matter what, we've beaten Georgia, so I think it'll happen again. I think we will beat Georgia. So, yeah, I think we'll come out and play hard and play the right way, and I think we'll get the W. So, Corey Holly, live in Aiken, but play a good bit in Columbia. I haven't played Cobblestone, though. Would definitely sign up for the tournament. Yeah, Cobblestone's a dope course. Yeah. Cobblestone is a very, very, very dope course. So, yeah, Cobblestone is a very dope course. Anyways, guys, less than 5 minutes ago here on the Daily Crow, we got a couple of texts. Opinion on Big Gamecock weekend. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, what else could the opinion be? I mean, I think it's awesome. I think it's great for the fan base. Making the spring game at night is awesome. Obviously, being able to go to all the events is very wise by the school. I mean, yeah, it's just something incredible for the fans, man. Everybody gets to go to every game, and I can't wait on that Saturday to go watch the baseball team and then go to football. Like it's gonna be awesome, man. Yeah, it's sorry if I missed it. Preseason baseball prediction for you out yet. No, Monday. Big show on Monday. Huge podcast on Monday. We'll have a full breakdown of the season, predictions, projections. Like I will have a legitimate record prediction. I'll have a projected starting lineup, projected rotation, all that good stuff. So all of my predictions will be locked in on Monday. Very excited for it. Again, going to be a huge show. So be sure to stay tuned to that. Be sure to stay tuned to that. No, Luke RJ, this is not a new start time for today. I just started it late because I went and got lunch and it was late. I mean, that's why. So no, we're sticking with noon to 2. We're sticking with noon to 2. But today I was sitting there waiting on lunch. I was like, well, I can either leave and not get the lunch that I paid for or move this back 30 minutes. And so I decided to move it back 30 minutes. But no, we will be noon to 2 every day as normal. Every day as normal. So no, Austin, yeah. So everybody that plays college baseball, you got to be out of high school for 3 years. So at least if you go to this level, you go JUCO, you can go whenever. But no, Will Sanders got another year. No matter what, Will Sanders has another year. So he will be back next year no matter what. Yep. Will Sanders will be back confirmed. And I think Will Sanders, I think he's on pace to be a top 10 pick, man. I think he's that good. I think he's really that good. Fastball sits mid to upper 90s. The breaking stuff's incredible. Got a plus change up. Got the build. I mean, it's effortless out of the hand. So I think without a doubt, Will Sanders is going to be a big time in MLB prospect. No doubt. I think he is. I think he's a big time legitimate dude. Big time legitimate arm. And I think he's going to tear up the SEC this year. I really do. There's a reason he's preseason all conference, but I think the sky is the limit for Will Sanders. Again, the only question for him, taking over the Friday night role, that's a new responsibility. That's a it's a big jump, but kid's got all the stuff. He's got the moxie. He's got everything you want in a big time Friday night guy, and I cannot wait to watch him do the damn thing all season long. Folks, that's going to do it all for me. Appreciate you all tuning in. Check out the podcast that dropped this morning. Episode 597, breaking down tomorrow's basketball game against the Georgia Bulldogs. Also talking spring game, talking some baseball projections, as well a packed podcast here on this Friday. Also, again, guys, reminder, watch party tomorrow, Carolina Ale House in Augusta, Georgia. All the details are on social media. I've reshared them. Would love to have you guys, all my CSRA Gamecocks. Let me hear from you. Let me see you. Going to be a damn good time. And again, appreciate you all, your love and support, guys. Outside of that, appreciate you all tuning in again. Big week next week as we sit just 1 week away from opening day. Podcast, Daily Crow rolling all next week, but another successful week in the books. And I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And please don't forget, while you're enjoying this beautiful weather, to hell with Georgia. Folks, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all tuning in, and we will talk to you on